Welcome back. This is part 5 of Motherboard's Guide to Your Personal Rebrand. 5 of 6. So we're almost to the end of our journey. Hopefully you've been here since the beginning. In part 1, we talked about how to rewrite any self-limiting beliefs. Part 2, we learned how to reflect on and process all the things that we learned this past year. Part 3, you made the shift to identity-based change. And then in our last part, part 4, we went in depth into how, and that was Habits 101. Now, we're into the good stuff, like the details of your year. This is where the rubber meets the road. We go from like these vague concepts, who we want to be, how we want to change, into like concrete details, actionable details, how these things actually fit into the reality of your days. So this is part 5, which is building your system. The first thing we got to do, we got to do this, is we got to zoom out for a second and talk about mindset around this for a second. I know I feel like I talk about mindset till I'm blue in the face, but truly it is everything. This is a mindset shift that has been extremely important to me, especially as a mom juggling all the schedules, all the things. And that is the concept of having intentional strategy in reframing your time. I think the default setting when we think about our time is we want to be as efficient as possible. You're like, I have this extremely crazy to-do list. I want to try to do as much as I can in as little time as possible. Have the perfect checklist, have the perfect to-do list. I'm gonna know this, that, and that, which, obviously I love. I'm the planner girly. I love my planner. That energy is needed. Like, that's definitely needed sometimes in certain seasons when there's so much to be done, or there is like so much that does need to get done that is time sensitive, that needs to happen in a certain amount of time. But the truth of the matter is that is not a fun way to live. It's not a fun way to live. If you're anything like me, I have ADHD, I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. Truly at my core, I kind of resent the idea that my life, for the rest of my life, is just gonna be this like structured thing that has no spontaneity or room for fun. Like, I resent that, and I can't be like that. What has happened to me in the past is I get overwhelmed with my life, and then I react by making all this structure, and it's go, until eventually I burn out and then feel guilty and don't do anything for a really long time, and then feel overwhelmed again, and the cycle continues. So I reject that that's just how I'm gonna be the rest of my life. And so what I have learned, there has to be a mindset shift in the way we think about time. It's not about being efficient, it's about being intentional. It's about doing things on purpose. And that really is what Motherboard's all about, is giving you the tool to say like, hey, this is what is important to me right now. I'm gonna figure out when I can actually do it, and do it on purpose, do it with intention. So the shift then is from being efficient to being intentional. And what I mean by that is that while you might not always be doing the most efficient thing with your time, you are, however, in control, and you're consciously making intentional choices for your desires and outcomes. Let me run that back. You're not trying to productivity max your life, but what you are trying to do is take back control of your time. Take back control from the scrolls. It's your life, not our corporate overlords. I saw another creator on here say, my life is not for sale, and I love that. You are in control of your time, and you are making intentional, not mindless, intentional choices for what you want your life to look like. What you're now shifting to with your time is using strategy with your time, being strategic with your time. Because yes, it is true that we all have 24 hours in a day, but those 24 hours are not equal. Between people, between life situations, between even yourself day to day. You're going to be looking at your days from a strategic perspective. For example, what I mean by that, when I was a stay-at-home mom and my kids were really little, I remember nap time, the sacred nap time window. If I was looking at it from the efficiency viewpoint, in my mind, I'm like, okay, nap time is go time. I can do the chores, I can do laundry, I can do this, because when the kids are down, obviously I can go so much faster, things get done quicker, I can do more in less time with less energy. That's the efficiency mindset. Looking at nap time from a strategic mindset, on the other hand, chores, laundry, working out. I can do all those things when the kids are awake. They might take me longer, but I can still do them. You know what I can't do when the kids are awake? Relax. That is being strategic. That is being strategic with your time. One thing that is very helpful when thinking about your time from a strategic standpoint, having a clear definition of what it is that is important to you. Having clearly defined values. And I mean like defined, like actually taking a second to reflect and write out what it is that is important to you in this particular season of life. How old you are, where you're living, how old your kids are, thinking about what's important to you in this particular season. Being confident in what your values are gives us the motivation to actually do the things that are important to us, and the things that bring value to our life, that we know will bring value to our life, because these are the things that we know are important to us right now. And it gives us the freedom to let go of the things that aren't necessarily important, aren't necessarily like top priority right now. Like, for example, for my own life, something that is very important to me personally in this season of life is quality connection rituals with my family. So the tasks that are associated with that, so like having family meals and planning family memories and our bedtime connection time, like those tasks are high priority to me right now. What I don't care about so much is like having a perfectly tidy home. So I have let go. I have stopped doing certain things. Like I don't fold my kids' laundry. I just put it in their rooms and I put it in their drawers. I don't spend time during my week tidying my house except for the power hour, like our closing shift. And it's just like as much as we can in that time. It's not gonna be perfectly, it's literally never perfectly done. But that's my choice, that's my strategy, because that bandwidth is important for me in this season to be here, not necessarily here. Something to remember is that different seasons will have different priorities. And like these priorities, these values are going to shift and change. Your kids get older, their schedules change, their needs change, you change, your family dynamic changes. Everything is in flux. And because of that, what has worked in the past will likely not work right now. And what works right now will likely not work in a few months, probably. It's really important that you're checking in with yourself to reconsider each season and reconsider what's important and what maybe can be let go for the time being. That was a lot of info. That was a lot of backstory, but I think it's gonna be helpful moving forward. Okay, so now is the real meat and potatoes, okay? We're putting all the pieces together. We have our vision for the year. We know the things we wanna do. We know who that requires us to be. Now we're going to be intentional and strategic with the reality of our days to create our ideal systems for the year. Your goals are about the results you want to achieve. Your systems are the processes that lead to those results. When I was feeling the most burnt out, it was because looking back, life just felt so insanely noisy. And especially with my ADHD, the noise felt deafening, especially being a mom and when all of a sudden it's like, it's not just my needs that I'm juggling, it's these three small humans. I felt like I was just constantly like in this tornado of chaos and decisions and reactions to be made at everywhere I turned. It broke me. I don't know how else to say it. It broke me. And I just remember desperately wanting something to cut through that noise, just to quiet it a little bit. And when I read James Clear Atomic Habits, that's when I really understood what I was feeling, what that was coming from. And it was this overwhelming decision fatigue. What I've learned is the trick to cutting through that noise, the trick to quieting that noise is lessening the amount of decisions, lessening the reaction that you have to have in your days. Yeah, like that is the answer. That truly has changed my life. I honestly can't say it enough. That's my soapbox that I will preach on for the rest of my life. That's what I'm here. I'm here preaching on this soapbox of lessening the decisions in your life. It's made my life so much more enjoyable. The way to do that, the way to lessen those decisions is through habits and routine. It's that simple. It truly is. We've already talked about this, but what a habit does for you, you are creating a shortcut in your brain, which when you are taking control of what those habits are, you're creating behaviors that are leading you towards your values, leading you towards the things that are important to you. But you're taking away the brain energy that it takes to make those choices. You are making as much as you possibly can automatic in your life. Takes away that bandwidth of your brain that is being constantly used. So many tabs open all the time. It just closes some of those tabs because those behaviors that are important to you that you want to happen, those are automated in your life. They require no brain energy from you anymore. They have just become who you are. They've just become part of you. I can't stress that enough. That's what's so life-changing. That has been the most life-changing piece for me. And I think for a lot of us here, yeah, that's my hope. That's my hope for you, is that Motherboard gives you a tool to automate as much as you can so that you can free up some of that space in your brain, to free it up for joy and enjoyment and actually enjoying your life and enjoying your time with your kids and being creative and being your own person and doing fun things. You want to be strategic and almost like robotic about the things that are boring so that it frees up your time and your brain space for fun. Yeah, I feel like that's enough. I feel like I've been on my soapbox long enough. So now let's get into like the concrete, how you're actually going to set up your systems for this year. So let's first talk about what is already set up for you here. What systems are already set up for you here? I've had a few people reach out to me and ask me what the difference is between my morning routine and my opening shift. Let's first talk about your opening and closing shift. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, this is where that comes from, is you will start thinking about your home, your house, having an opening and closing shift. So just like 3 to 5 tasks that need to happen every night or every morning to just keep the wheels on the bus, everything runs smoothly. I have at the beginning in the reference pages, like my suggested opening and closing shifts. That's what my opening and closing shifts are in my house. Obviously, I have a blank one here for you to fill in with going back to what is actually important to you in your home right now. Like, what are the things that need to happen? The other thing I will say is what's very helpful is to have them in priority order. So the two at the top being like, these are the non-negotiables, these need to happen every day. The non-negotiable for me, especially at night, is cleaning the kitchen before bed. Like we made it a thing, we made it a rule in our house that we don't go to bed with a dirty kitchen anymore because we lived like that for a long time. So having the two highest priority tasks at the top, so it's like, you know that these two things will get done. And then the other ones at the bottom, it's like, yes, we want them to get done, but if they don't, like the wheels stay on the bus, things still keep moving. So that's how you define your opening and closing shifts. And I feel like I should mention too, it's not just for you. This is not just for you. I mean, this is for your whole family. What's very helpful is having it posted somewhere in your kitchen so that everyone knows what to do with their hands at all times. Like, this is not all on you. This is for your family. This is an opening and closing shift for your family. Like, these are the tasks that need to happen. Maybe especially like as your kids get older, everyone has their own roles, everyone has their jobs within the opening and closing shifts, just like your own little restaurant, you know. For my ADHD brain, the time blindness is a real thing. So like I have trouble conceptualizing how long things take and also like expanding things to take longer than they actually need to take. So that's why I personally block out, like write out when each of these tasks needs to happen every morning. So I know like, okay, this should only take 5 minutes. This should only take 10 minutes. And I know that like I can unload the dishwasher while my kids are eating breakfast. Like I know when actually those things will be happening. Opening and closing shifts, that's what that's for. Those are more so for your home tasks, for your family, the things that everyone's doing. Your morning and night routine, those are more personal to you in particular. So my morning routine is for before my kids are awake and after I drop them off at school. So I kind of have like a 2-part morning routine. My night routine is what I'm doing after my kids are asleep, after my kids' bedtime. That is my time, that is your time. That is where you can be intentional. That's where you can make intentional choices to do the things that are important to you, whether that's like being more creative, doing something more creative, or journaling, or exercising, or whatever. That is where you have the space to make intentional choices with your time. And so that is why, for me, it's helpful to like be like, okay, I know the things that are important to me this year. So when exactly are those things gonna happen in my day? And that's where I can find that time, either in my morning or night routine, if it's something that I know needs to happen every day, or if it's something that I know needs to happen once a week. That's where maybe I can go ahead and put it into my weekly habits on my habit tracker. These are the daily habits, things that happen every day. And then these are things that happen once a week and things that I want to happen twice a week. That is your next step. So this is your concrete takeaway. This is exactly what you're going to go do right now. Your next step. You're going to now look at your vision for the year, look at the things that are important to you, and then pick out, okay, where are these happening in my days or my weeks or my months? So what might be helpful to start, and maybe you could even do this in your monthly notes section in the January notes, make 3 lists. Looking at your vision, looking at your identity that you're embodying, what are the things that she does every day, the daily things? What are the things that need to happen daily? What are the things that happen once or twice a week? What are the weekly habits? And then third, what are the monthly habits that she has? Or are there like specific things that need to happen at a specific time this year? And then once you have those lists of habits that are going to be making up your days and leading you in the direction that you actually want to be going, that's when you can create your morning, night, opening, closing shifts, routines. And that's where, like a puzzle, you can fit in where those habits can fit in to your mornings or your nights or wherever. Where do those happen? And then you'll move on to your weekly habits. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is write those weekly habits, go ahead and write them into your habit tracker for January. But then I would take it a step further, and in your brainstorming list, go ahead and think about, okay, I know these are the things that I want to happen every week. When is that actually feasible? Looking at my week, looking at like a typical week. Every week is different. Every single week is different. And that's why the motherboard ritual, the weekly ritual of checking in and planning ahead, planning your week ahead is so important, because that's when you are filling in your week, reminding yourself of all the things in your Google Calendar that you probably forgot, all the things that you've already committed to. So then you can reference the habits that you want to happen and figure out when it's realistic for them to actually happen in your week. Like that's the whole shebang. That's the whole method.